call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Yizha takes on Westin Wilson this Saturday at UFC Fight Night Shanghai. And this is probably the biggest mismatch on the card. Westin Wilson, 36 years old. Not the most success in the UFC. He is coming in off of a finish over Jekasaragi by triangle armbar in the first round. Before that, lost by TKO KO to Gene Silva and Joe Anderson Brito. Again, very high level guys, so it's hard to really put him down for that, I guess you could say. But I do think he's being brought in as kind of the sacrificial lamb for Yizha to get a win in front of his home crowd. You know, Yizha is very well-rounded, legit submission skills, has tons of experience at the young age of 28, barely into his prime. You know, very skilled striker, comes from a Sanda, Chinese martial art background, has really hard leg kicks, technical on the feet, throws straight punches. I think he's looking to use his striking and get it to the ground, though. Doesn't have the best takedown defense, but he can wrestle, get it to the ground, has a lot of skills and submission ability once it does hit the mat. But Westin Wilson, I mean, hasn't had the best looks, you know, 17-9, not the best record, but comes from a point karate background, you know, kind of has a stance like Stephen Thompson, just not as effective at it, but he is long and rangy. Doesn't really use his range or anything very well on the feet. He's more of a submission guy looking to get it to the ground. Does throw straight punches, but really that's kind of just to, you know, to set up his takedowns and everything. But Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, does have skills on the ground, you know, like I said, coming in off of a submission win. Grew up wrestling. But, again, one of those guys who I just think he's out of his prime. Just seems like he kind of wilts at times in some of his fights if they're not going his way, if he's taking a lot of damage, you know, getting pushed back, getting pressured. He can kind of get bullied in there at times, getting beat up pretty bad by Gene Silva and Joe Anderson Brito. Just very finishable. You know, he's 36 years old, taking on this young prospect who's already got tons of experience, is only going to be making, you know, huge drastic improvements. I just don't trust him against a guy like Yizha, who has shown a lot of potential so far in his career. He's coming on and off a loss to Gabriel Santos, but I think Gabriel Santos is very good. Before that, you know, lost to Jiang Li by split decision. So a lot of good wins, decent wins on the regional scene on road to UFC. And again, been a pro since 2015. So he's been doing this since he was 18 years old. So I'm going to go with Yizha to get this one done. Again, Westin Wilson can be finished, been KO'd several times, been submitted a few times. So I'm going to go with Yizha to get this one done. I think he can get the KO on the feet or find the submission if it goes to the ground. Thanks.